Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Talk Junkies, where tonight's going to be a very interesting night, as it is each and every single week here on Talk Junkies. Carl in the house. Carl, what's up, dude?
What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? Jesse and Johnny aren't here tonight, but that's fine. We still got Carl in the house. And Paul, we're here to make it happen. Last week, we were going to do the podcast, and we just sat outside and we were just talking. And then one thing led to another, and we just didn't do it.
Right. You podcasted without podcasting.
Exactly. That's what it's called. Maybe there's a word for it. Maybe it's just called conversation. But we did have Dan on the week before and did talk about age limits. I know we were going to talk about communism. Really didn't get into it very much. But just about, we tune back into it if you guys haven't heard it. On TikTok, we did post a video. I think it got around 3,000 views, and people really weren't fans of changing the voting age from 18 to maybe 25 or what have you. But I'm curious what your take is, Carl. I know Dan brought it a little bit further with having to be married, and I understand where he's coming from when it comes to that. But does it make it... First, let's start. Do you agree with changing 18 to 25?
No.
Why is that?
Well, it's hard to say, because there was one comment you made that really set it off, that... Not the exact words, but you basically straight up were like, when I was 18, I think you even said 18 to 25, you're like, all I cared about was partying with the boys and getting drunk and this and that.
Yeah.
I'm like, so what? Nothing changed from 18 to 25.
True.
You were talking about you didn't care at 18 who the fuck was president and all that kind of, you weren't as involved.
Right.
But then you made a comment, and I thought you said 18 to 25 in that same age range. Yeah. That you were just...
I'd say I became more aware of what politics were as a 25-year-old, and even as 30, I'm obviously way more involved. Well, not involved like in voting or...
Well, then it's not going to change, but what needs to change is just the education system. Teach people better about...
Right.
Get them ready for 18. Teach them why they need to, and take more involvement.
True.
Why change it? And then the married part, too, it's like, or having kids. And I know Dan's not here to defend himself, and I just watched the podcast as a third party.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even as a single person, it's your future, too. Why is it any different?
Yeah, no. When he said that, I was kind of a little... Again, I understood the basis behind what he was saying.
Yeah.
Like, because when you have a family, you have morals. You care about what's going to happen to your family in the future because your kids are the future, right? If you're single, they're really let's say you never have kids at all. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a say,
right?
So I don't agree with that either at all.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I guess I could still get behind the age part, but not the rest of it, really.
Yeah, because so from 18 to 20, I would argue that whenever you turn 18 and you're able to vote, even if they set you up for success, right, and you knew what voting was and all of this stuff, how much information could you consume? I know, like, I was in debate and forensics. There's a lot of topics. There are very smart 18-year-olds out there, right? Extremely smart who probably should vote or whatever. I don't know. But let's be real. What is the general consensus of people who are 18? They're going to go out. They're going to enjoy life.
Yeah.
They have they want to...
Think about graduating high school.
Yeah. Like, there's just a lot of goals. There's a lot of other things going on. Like, their mindset's not anywhere in a place to vote locally or even for president, I mean, you see these videos of people who go out and they randomly ask people questions. And again, I'm talking on behalf of the people who aren't educated like they should be.
Yeah.
Including myself. There's probably some questions that I couldn't answer about our country, but I mean, they literally ask people like, can you name me 3 countries?
Right.
And they can't even do that. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll ask them trick questions like, well, Utah is in California. And they're like, yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these kids have no fucking idea about anything, and again, when I was that age, that was me. I mean, granted, I knew a lot of the states. I knew some countries, all that stuff, continents, whatever. But that's just not the case. So those people are having an impact on what's being said and done. And a lot of times it's based on emotion.
Oh, yeah.
You're 18, you got all this, whether whoever your parents are voting for, that's most likely.
That's mostly likely who you're voting for.
Yeah.
I thought about that too. I was about to say it too earlier. Is that, I mean, how many of us were influenced by our parents of who to vote for and, what views to kind of have.
Yeah. I mean, that's what your parents do. It doesn't mean you have to conform to their reality or conform to their party, But I would venture out to say that probably 90% of kids probably do vote the way of their parents.
100%. Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. As opposed to, let's say, hey, you can't vote till you're 25. You're out of your parents' house. If you really want to vote, you need to inform yourself. You know? And I don't think that there should be some tests you should take before you can vote or anything like that. I think once you turn 25, you're able to vote. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. We need to be more educated on it for sure.
It's something that's an individual. Like I know I went to high school with a kid. He wanted to be in politics. He wanted to be in government. He pursued that shit. So it's like he probably knew at 18 what he was looking at and looking for. But I didn't give a fuck.
Right.
You know, I remember in high school, my teacher, when Obama got elected, we fucking watched it.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, oh, this is history. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
Cool. Well, I'm sitting here in history class. What do you fucking do?
Yeah.
you know, it's like, I didn't give a fuck.
For sure. I don't know, man. It's a little weird for me. I mean, obviously, it's never going to happen in our lifetime. That's something that'll never change, and honestly, in my opinion. But I think it's something I've never thought about, and I think it's interesting, and I think that it could make a beneficial impact if it were to be implemented. Yeah,
because, and again, I think it's been said numerous times, like just education. You know, they should teach you better, you know, because, Missouri, we got to pass a Missouri test, Constitution test and just a U.S. Constitution test. But that's basically all school does is just get you ready for a test. I mean, how many times did you get ready for a test and they just dump everything you just fucking learned?
Exactly.
You know, because they don't want you to retain that shit. They just want you to be able to take a test on it.
Yeah.
That's all they ever do in schools now is just to get you ready for a fucking test.
And some people can retain that information and that knowledge. I'm not one of those people.
No.
You know? I mean, once I passed the Constitution test, I passed the Missouri Constitution test, and like exactly what you just said. I mean, give me that test again, I probably don't pass it.
Oh, fuck yeah, same here.
Maybe the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, possibly, but the Missouri one, probably not.
No, fuck no, I've done it.
Yeah.
You know?
So again, like you said, that it boils down to education, and then the most interesting thing for me about education is back in the early 1900s when the School Education Board was formed, the federal or the overarching entity that started it was J.D. Rockefeller.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he started the public education. He started the public education system.
Well, there you go.
There you go. And
they say follow the money. That is the money.
Yes, and he's quoted in saying, he's like, I don't want a generation of
thinkers.
Oh,
yeah.
I want a generation of workers.
Yeah, well, that's what we were talking about outside. It's just, they don't want you to think for yourself. So it's like we were talking about all these apartments going up here in town and around all the other towns and shit. Like they don't want you to own your own home. They don't want you to be a thinker. They don't want you to be an independent. They want you to be a renter where they fucking own you. You know, they want you to own your fucking home, and you're self-sufficient. They don't want that anymore.
No, they don't.
They probably never did, but.
And to me, I've said this to people, I think, okay, so you have the Republicans and Democrats, and I don't even think we're even in that landscape anymore. I think you have far-right people, and then you have far-left people. And it's not even...
if you're anything else, then fuck you, apparently.
Yeah, you can still be like an original or a 1990s Democrat, and you're nowhere near what it is to be a far-left Democrat.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shit, I forgot what we were talking about that led to that.
They don't want you to be independent.
Oh, yeah. And it all goes hand in hand, man. I mean, you look at Charles Schwab and what he said with the great economic, or the economic, what is it called? Charles Schwab.
That's
the economic forum, yeah.
Yeah.
In the Great Reset, and they had it on their website. You'll own nothing and be happy by the year 2030.
Yeah.
And you have all these leaders that are going to these meetings, and I showed my mom today. Like even Trump went.
Oh, really?
Even Trump went to the economic forum, and he said, "Charles, you're doing a great job."
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, who do we really even have to look up to where what you're describing with all these apartment buildings going up? And there's been conspiracies about that for a long time, that they're building all these massive, apartment complexes for the reason you just described. In Dubai, did you see recently what they're trying to do?
Mm-mm.
They're trying to make a linear city. So basically, you have point A, right? Then you have point Z. It's a linear line.
Okay.
And they're going to have, 5 stories of buildings.
Yeah.
And it's going to stretch enough to populate, 3 to 10 million people, okay? Maybe it was 1 million. I can't remember how many people exactly. But it's going to be 5 stories high on each side. And anything you need, grocery store, police department, department stores, all that shit, within this A to Z stretch. I forget. I don't know how many miles it is, but for a million people, it's got to be probably 20.
That's
miles.
like some Snowpiercer shit.
Yeah.
Like A is your fucking top tier, 1%ers, and Z is your back of the train motherfuckers that eat each other. You know,
you ain't gonna have elites living in a linear. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have houses somewhere else.
Oh, they'd be up in the tower looking down at you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like a little fucking ant.
But they're doing it in Dubai.
Yeah,
and it's to conserve land, they say, because you're building up as opposed to all around.
Right. But you don't give them land. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's like Judge Dredd shit, man.
Dude, that's fucked up. Well, that's what they're doing here. I mean, like I said, that one over in Lee Summit is fucking huge. Yeah. You know, they want you to rent. They don't want you to own anything. You know, price is going to be so high for a fucking house soon, you can't even afford the motherfucker.
Right.
You know, unless you're getting one now.
But then you go and you look at these apartments, you're going to be able to afford it, but it's going to be the shittiest, most basic apartment.
Yeah.
Because like you said, the most expensive apartment that's going up is $2,000. Like,
yeah, it was 18 to 200 or 18 to 2,000.
Yeah, that's absolutely asinine that someone would pay $2,000 to live in an apartment. Granted, I guess if you're young, you're single, and you got money to blow, why not? But I mean, that's a lot of money.
But not even if you're single. I mean, what
job are you doing?
Right, like with my job, I wouldn't want to pay for that. I guess maybe if I'm single, yeah, sure I could. Well, like go buy a fucking house instead. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, get equity.
But the younger people are like, oh fuck, I don't want to take care of a house. So they're selling them on that bullshit. Hey, zero maintenance, you get a pool.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, interesting times we live in, man. It's all very, very crazy. Everything that's going on right now, it's just wild, man. Going to the store and how expensive things are. We've hit inflation quite a bit on this podcast because it hits us.
Because it's not stopping. Yeah.
And the Fed's raised interest rates again by 0.75%. That's back to back. I don't know. I think that's the first time since it may have ever been done. I don't know.
I saw something that
maybe 70s or something like that, or
the Europe. Is that the euro?
Yeah.
For the first time in 20 years, they're even with each other. Like our dollar's not more than the euro.
Right. So another interesting thing that's going to become of that is a lot of people aren't talking about this, but from my
oil.
No. From my understanding, it's Russia, China, those Iran. I forget what they call it. There's like a word for it, like BRIC, or it's not BRIC, but they have an acronym for it anyways.
Right.
But allegedly, they are going away from the dollar, the petrodollar, because that's the world reserve currency is dollar.
Yeah.
And they're going to leave, and they're going to create their own dollar, I guess you could say, and it's going to be backed by gold and minerals.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, like this is legit. This shit came out last week, bro.
I didn't hear that.
Can you imagine what's going to happen if they stop using dollars? Like, I mean...
Oh, we're going to drop to fucking nothing.
I don't know, exactly. And it would be interesting...
Not nothing, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to have Pat on whenever he gets time. We can kind of brush upon that a little bit and see what his thoughts are, because he's a big, big proponent of gold and silver.
Yeah, oh yeah. And I thought Caleb was too or something.
Oh, yeah.
No, I was going to say, I thought I saw something too that since they're so close to the euro than dollar, that the oil is going to use the euro over the dollar too.
Yeah.
Where that can just demolish our money as well.
If it's worth more, man. And that makes you think, what's really happening in America? And what is the actual goal? And a lot of people think that the Biden administration and the far left are dismantling the United States for a new world order. And you go back to George Bush Sr., and that's whenever you started hearing about the new world order, right?
Well, I think you and I have talked about that the whole Bush family, they're like...
Yeah.
That's part of why we 9/11
right
was so we can go look for artifacts.
Yeah. Brian from Bright Insight, he had a really good video on that today. It wasn't very eye opening, but he did describe, like, he was stationed out there, so he was able to see some of these amazing.
Oh, really?
These amazing landmarks, structures and landmarks. And I mean, you're talking about I forget the guy's name. It was like an ancient king or whatever, pharaoh. Sargon or something like that, and it was like this massive, beautiful, like, just entranceway. And when ISIS got control of Iraq, ISIS destroyed it.
Really?
And, like, I mean, you're talking bulldozers, dump trucks. Like, they didn't just
like they do something.
Yeah, they didn't like blow it up. They literally just demolished it. You know what I'm saying?
Turned it to sand. Yeah.
Yeah, but what's really the agenda, man? And whenever you hear New World Order and you hear the Economic Forum and the Great Reset, and you'll own nothing and be happy. What is a one world government, right? What does that really even mean? And
there's kind of what you're saying, like the BRIC thing. I know it's maybe not the right acronym. With that currency is that there's some like British motherfucker, big council motherfuckers are talking about one world currency too.
Yeah.
You know? So how's that affect everybody?
That's what I'm saying. For me, I guess you have a lot of third world countries that probably would never even be down for that until they get developed into where they can, spread democracy in those types of places. But I think that's why you see the war in Russia, man. There's a lot of videos of Putin that are surfacing the light on TikTok, and you just hear what Putin is saying, and he's like, dude, like, I don't want any part of the world order. He's like, I just want you guys to leave my country alone, quit trying to interfere in our country, and just let us do what it is we want to do.
Just let us run the motherfucker.
Yeah, and I don't know Putin, man. I don't know.
Not to agree with Putin, but...
Yeah. I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy or what truly goes on in Russia, but from the videos that he's coming out with, and if the translation's right on these videos, I mean, he has some pretty interesting stuff to say for sure.
Well, that's the thing about those videos, that I don't know Russian.
Right, exactly.
So you got to take it for what somebody's translating that shit to.
There's some interviews that Putin's done with like Megyn Kelly, who used to be a Fox reporter, and those I trust. I don't think that it's the ones where it's just him and it's a whole bunch of Russian people and he's talking and people could put whatever they want on the translation.
Right, some guy on TikTok and say this is what he's saying. Death to America or whatever.
I guess for me, it'd be interesting to have someone on to explain what a one world government would be.
Yeah, because I don't know.
You see it like with our borders, right? Our borders, since Biden's been into office, from the numbers that I've gathered or people have told me, right around 3 million people have crossed our borders.
Damn.
1.7 million this year alone already.
Damn.
That's insane, man. That's 3 million. That's crazy. When you look at our population, 330 million, 3 million is a very small percentage.
Oh, fuck. I thought something else from Dan's podcast, too.
You did?
Yeah. Well, so there's another part, too. You guys talked about immigration.
Yeah.
And he's like, lock it down. Nobody can come here.
Yeah.
But I think so, right?
Yeah.
That was one part. And
right.
Not to butcher, but I think it was along those lines.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, if somebody didn't travel to America, then we wouldn't be here.
True, but
so that immigration's technically what started.
Yeah,
if you believe the history books.
But there was a process, and I'm not entirely sure how that process went. But you had people who were coming to America to form the melting pot, blah blah blah. But that's how you're able to get on Ancestry.com and shit, bro. Like and see where your family came from is because they had books like this. And what are they called? Census books.
Yeah.
And when these people were coming in, they're like, "Who are you? Where are you from? What's your age? What's your name?"
Oh, yeah, they write everything down.
Yeah. And that process still exists in vetting and going through a process to become an actual immigrant in the United States.
Yeah, nationalism or whatever it's called. Yeah.
And I don't agree with Dan in saying shut it down. I think maybe what Dan means is like keep the process of letting...
do it better. Yeah.
Exactly. Don't just fucking open the border, man, and just let people flood in here.
I believe in due process. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But just to say the statement, like, shut the shit down, like,
right.
I think no immigration. I'm like, well, technically that's how this country started.
100% agree with that. But for me, I think it's what alarms him, and I'm not trying to defend Dan, this is just me and my thought process for what you're saying, is when you have...
Dan, I love him, just saying, I'm not...
Yeah, when you have 3 million people in 2 years coming into your country, something, and I think he means shut it down now.
Yeah.
And let's give it some time until we start letting other people back in, because these 3 million people, they're not going anywhere. They're here now.
Oh, yeah. They're going to assume some other name and take some money.
But so what's interesting about that is, I'm sure you've heard, but like they're coming through Texas, Florida, Arizona, all that stuff. So now what they're doing is they're giving them bus passes, and I don't know if they're flying them or whatnot, but they're sending them to Washington, D.C.
Oh, really? Over here, you deal with them?
Yeah. So the mayor of Washington, D.C., I believe, I don't think it was the governor, but it was the mayor, has declared a state of emergency because of the overwhelming amount of immigrants that are flooding their city.
Damn.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it kind of is. I'm like, what the fuck do you do with them,
Yeah.
You know how many people live in your town, your state, and city and whatnot. When you got an excess of X amount of immigrants, like, what the fuck do you do with them all?
Right. And due to COVID, you saw the unemployment rate or percentage go high. So, I mean, there are jobs. I think that there are things for them to do, but you have to house them, you have to feed them, you have to give them health care. And that all puts a strain on the people who already existed within that environment. And then you're adding more to the environment. So how's it going to affect it overall? I don't see how you could say it would be beneficial.
But the unemployment number, that was kind of like a what's the word I'm looking for? An inflated number,
Sure.
if you will.
Because of COVID, yeah.
Because, you can't call it unemployment when you tell me not to go to work.
Right, true. Very true.
You know?
But I'm saying, even after COVID, currently to this day, I think unemployment's obviously went down, but I don't think it's as good as it was.
Right,
or
it's not pre.
Or could be, yeah. I mean, it's always went up, and I don't know, man.
So, but yeah, well, I know we're kind of bouncing all over the place, but that's not necessarily a worker problem. Or maybe it is now. I don't know. Maybe just people are, they don't want it. I don't know.
Well, yeah, Johnny's been on and he talks about, wanting a higher wage and all that stuff. But, I mean, people got to feed themselves, right? I mean, I know if you don't make a certain amount of money, you can apply for government benefits. You can live off the system. There are plenty of people who do it.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Get affordable housing, all that shit. I believe that the waiting list for affordable housing or restructured housing payments and stuff like that, and you're talking renting, not owning, I could only imagine that waiting list is probably fairly large to get on.
I would assume.
But I haven't looked into it. I don't know, man. It's weird. Dude, there's this crazy story. We don't even have to talk politics anymore if you don't want to.
Oh, no, yeah, bounce around.
Yeah, there was this, it was in Wisconsin at a lake. I guess there was 4 people, they were tubing on a boat. And they were, they were tubing. There was 3 chicks and a dude or something.
Yeah.
And I guess this other boat came up. And I don't know if this guy was tubing too, but he's a 52-year-old guy, stabbed them while they were tubing.
What the fuck?
Yeah, stabbed him while they were fucking tubing, bro. Killed 1, injured, and then critically injured 3 of them. And I guess they eventually got the guy in custody, but they're like, we can't find the weapon because you're on a lake.
They're in the fucking lake.
Yeah, 100%. But it's just, that's crazy, man. Where, I don't even know how to explain that or even what to say. Why are you even on, maybe the 17-year-old pissed him off and jumped on their wake while they were riding the boat or something, caused some waves. But
what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't get people. It's that's what the fuck.
And those stories are endless in the United States. People get so mad. And then they take their frustrations out and kill people.
Right. Well, that's what they say shootings are, too.
Yeah.
It's just people getting mad, and then, let me go make a name for myself.
So, and again, TikTok is a blessing, and it's a blessing, and it's also a sore. It's a thorn in your ass type of situation because there's so much information that you're consuming within a short period of time. 2 parts to this, but for the sake of what we're talking about, there's a video I watched when it came to shootings, and they had this graph, and whenever Obama was president, he ended not the Smith-Mundt Act, whichever one it was, to not perpetuate propaganda onto its citizens. Obama ended that, to my knowledge. I should look into that more. That way I'm not fucking lying out of my ass, and I could be wrong. But to my knowledge, he ended it to where the government can perpetuate propaganda in any way that they want.
Oh, okay.
And within that graph, it shows a correlation of whenever they're able to do propaganda, that the mass shootings went up.
Really?
Yeah. Ever since that was lifted. Because it was against the law to do that. You can't do propaganda to your citizens as a government.
I'm trying to think of a response.
I know, isn't that kind of weird to think about? I don't even know if there's really anything to say. Let's say it is true. It's very interesting. And what do you?
Oh, yeah.
What do you take from that? And I think that.
Well, because I don't know if we've said it here, but I know I've talked to people about it. But that's, if you want to get rid of guns, then that triggers an emotional response. Is showing mass shootings or talking about them, at least, like they do.
For sure, yeah.
That's how you get most people on board. They can look at a fact sheet all fucking day long, but as soon as you actually show people and get the emotional side of it, that's where a lot of things are driven from.
Right.
Is an emotional.
Well, decision. the House just passed an assault weapons ban, right?
No.
Yeah, 2 days ago. Friday, I believe it was. And actually, this shit, whenever they pass these types of weird fucking shit like that.
Well, the House passed it, but I doubt the Senate would.
You never know, man.
Because that's Republican.
The Senate
majority, right? Yeah, the House is.
No,
Democratic.
No, the Democrats have both. They have they have the House and the Senate. But whenever you're trying to pass that type of legislation, you do need votes.
You need 2/3. Yeah, so you need.
So I'm with you. I don't think that it passes, but it did pass in the House, and of an assault weapons ban that includes obviously AR-15s, some types of shotguns and handguns, bro.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah,
or you don't get Caleb or Pat on.
You don't hear shit about that, bro.
No, I hear. I know. So, you're literally the first one to say something.
Yeah.
To me.
So here's the other thing about TikTok. And Joe Rogan came out last week, and he had a podcast with I think his Theo Van Vaughn or whatever his name is, and Joe Rogan's talking about how fucking crazy. I mean, TikTok is owned by China, right?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Trump tried to change it. People were up in arms. It didn't happen. It was going to be sold to a U.S. company.
Yeah, so he was trying to get it sold to some U.S. company.
I was on board with that. But then at the same time, this is where it gets weird for me. But Joe Rogan went into detail. If you look at your terms of service of what TikTok is, do you have it? I don't think you do.
No, I haven't downloaded it.
To me, it's no different to what any other app you download, Instagram, Facebook, all the other social media apps.
Yeah.
The terms of service, what you provide, what you give them in return from your phone. So when Joe Rogan's laying it all out there, he's like, yeah, dude, and I'd have to pull it up. But TikTok they can access your phone. They can access your camera. They can access your microphone.
Well, here, I'll pull this up.
They can access, once you've accepted the terms of service, they can now pull up information from my computer within TikTok.
But you allowed them to do it.
Right.
Oh, here we go.
Do you find it?
No, so there's this website that if anybody wants to know, it is tosdr.org. So it's terms of service doctor, maybe. But you can go on there. I found this. I use it all the time now. You can look for a company or, I guess a company, Facebook, Apple, Samsung, TikTok, and it gives them a grade, and it tells you what the terms of service does.
Okay.
Like it gives them a grade E. They can, so like this, it says they can read your private messages.
Yeah.
Service can delete specific content without prior notice. Can collect, use, and share location data. Many types of personal data are collected. It shares your personal data with third parties that are not involved in its operation. Cookies, that's normal. Can delete your shit. Yeah, it's a good website to look at shit.
So what's the best rating? A?
Yeah,
And they get an E.
yeah. So E is the worst one I've seen so far,
Oh, damn.
and A is the best, obviously.
So here's how biased is that website? Because what do they give Facebook?
I think it's also an E. I think it's
What do they
shitty.
give Instagram?
That's owned by Facebook, so I
Right.
would assume
The same thing.
I would assume the same.
So they don't seem
thing.
too biased if they're both E's at that point.
Yeah, Facebook's an E.
Yeah. So okay, maybe
I would
they're
assume Instagram is too.
at that point I wouldn't call them biased because Facebook,
E.
Facebook and Instagram do probably close to the same exact thing that TikTok does. And it scares people because shit, it's China and China's dude, they're in China.
Oh, right here, and then too, like Instagram, the service holds on to content that you've deleted.
There you go.
So it's never deleted, and then they can share that shit too. So
Exactly.
like, that shit's not gone.
Exactly.
And all the A's that I've seen are like random companies I've never fucking heard of.
Right.
Or random websites.
And if they were ever to get big, they would turn into an E, man.
I would assume.
Yeah. So here's my argument, though. So you have
Like Amazon's got an E.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. They're all fucking the same, man.
Wikipedia's got a B.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
But like DuckDuckGo, what the fuck is that?
It's a search engine.
Okay, well it gets an A.
Not anymore.
Oh, really?
They've recently, I don't know if they were bought out or something happened to where it's been compromised type of situation.
YouTube gets an E. The service can view your browser history.
There you go.
And then deleted videos are not deleted.
So here's my argument, though. Joe Rogan comes out and he talks about all the shit that is bad with with TikTok and all this shit. But then, like, as I'm watching this video, and then of course, you like to read comments and shit on what's going on. And the overwhelming amount of comments that you get on TikTok, and I completely 100% agree with, is the fact that you're getting unfiltered content through TikTok.
Oh, really?
It is literally the wild, wild west like YouTube used to be. When you were on YouTube, you could watch, remember, whenever you could see anything.
Oh, yeah.
There was no censorship.
Yeah.
That is TikTok right now.
Because it's owned in China.
Yeah. And then in China, they don't let their citizens watch the same shit that we do.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I say China. They're censored as fuck. They're communism.
At least from what we know, I've never been there, but...
Well, dictators, communism, not Johnnies.
Right. So people would say, well, then they're successfully defeating America by allowing all this content. You have kids doing blackout challenges, which, one's died from it. And it was the TikTok challenge. Yeah, they're trying to sue TikTok.
Yeah, all the challenges and shit.
Yeah. So maybe I do agree with, dude, that's the most beautiful thing about TikTok. And that's why Talk Junkies is growing on TikTok, is because it's unfiltered.
It's just, freedom.
If I do these short clips on YouTube that I'm doing on TikTok right now, it doesn't get near the response. You're not going to get a video with Crow where I do a short 1 minute video and it gets 70,000 views. That'll never happen on YouTube.
Right.
Ever. So what I'm saying is TikTok is giving people a chance to actually thrive and succeed.
And Joe Rogan was 4?
No, he didn't even bring up any of that. He was just talking about how scary the terms and services are and what you allow.
Oh, just in general.
Yeah, but it's just, again, you allow all these other big companies to do the same thing.
You do, and it's fucking shitty that you have to agree to it all. You
to
can't
use
just,
it, yeah.
Yeah, you can't just you can't nitpick it.
But it's just like, if I'm going to agree to terms of service, and I have to pick between YouTube and TikTok, I'm picking TikTok all day, bro.
Oh yeah,
because it's unfiltered, uncensored content.
Yeah, you've probably put some more risky shit than you have on YouTube, on TikTok, and you haven't gotten a letter from them.
Right. No. So I did try to promote one video. Johnny said a cuss word. They didn't promote the video, just because he said
TikTok.
Just because he said fucking.
Oh.
But you pay to promote, right? However much money you want. You can,
really?
Yeah, you can get views, followers, whatever it is. It's the only time I've done it, which is one time. But and there are videos that have been pulling off TikTok as well. But I mean, you got 1 billion users, and imagine the amount of content that's getting.
Oh yeah, you have to filter through all of that.
100%.
Ever.
And again, like I know I texted you this, but like, dude, we had a podcast like 3 years ago with Jen about getting
over 100 podcasts ago.
Over 100 podcasts ago about getting the jab. You know what I'm saying? And they took it down a year later.
Yeah.
It was about autism and how, this chick who has an autoimmune disease correlated the two with her findings and her studies and what she's done. And we talked about Dr. Paul Thomas, I believe, out in Oregon. They took it down. They didn't give us a strike.
Which I don't use YouTube as a creator. So what, you get 3 strikes?
You get 3 strikes. You get a warning and 2 strikes. We got our warning with
no strike.
Our warning we got with, I believe, is Dr. John Urer. Or no, it was Dr. Joel Hirschhorn we had on the second time. It was actually, the video is up, I think, not even for 24 hours. They took it down and gave us a warning. So then we have a warning. I don't know how long it takes for that to slip off, but then 2 more strikes and we're out. But we don't really go that hard anymore with the content like that.
Well, because, you're being conditioned not to.
True, yeah.
Conditioned not to talk about that
and
stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm almost to the point now where it's just like we don't really have much of an audience on YouTube anyways to where I could be done, bro. Like, just not even worry about it. And someone said, well, don't do that because if you keep uploading, there's a chance that 300 people could see it. Well, fuck those people who are on YouTube, dude. I fucking hate YouTube.
Right.
I hate it.
Well, I've told you before. What I've been telling you, well, not before, but recently.
Yeah, create a website.
Just create your own website and then use YouTube for your next 10 podcasts or so and say, hey, this is where all my videos are going to pop up. Start looking there.
We got to build an audience before we can do that. We don't have a big enough audience yet to where we could do that.
Well, TikTok you do.
Yeah, we're at like 2,077. And I'd say it just depends on the video. And I don't know how they filter in your subscriptions into how they see in your feed. Because I'm already to the point on TikTok, man, where I'm starting to see some of the same shit,
Really?
Within my echo chamber, yeah.
Right, that's what they're targeting you with.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. How their algorithms work and whatnot.
Yeah, man, we need better content, which we have good content, but we need better content, and we're going to do that, man. My goal is by the end of the year, my goal on TikTok would probably be like 15,000 followers.
Yeah.
And at that
way
point,
it's going.
Yeah, man, and at that point, dude, the guests that we're going to have on is going to be crazy. And that's when that's when things are just going to...
But who knows if TikTok would be there, but it'd be the same platform that it is now.
You're right, and that's the hard part.
And if it did get sold to a U.S. company, would it be what it is now?
It's going to be censored instantly.
Oh, yeah, 100% it is.
It's going to be cat videos and all NASA.
The same bullshit, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be authoritative news sources only.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Right now is an important time for Talk Junkies to have the best type of content that we can to create that base before they do it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. All right. Anywho, so that's my opinion on what Joe Rogan said about the terms of service. So this shit is scary, man. So we all know what fentanyl is.
Yeah.
Fentanyl is that's some not good shit.
But it has an actual use, right? Isn't it for like anesthesia?
Something. I have no idea.
It's used medically, but that's obviously in like the correct setting.
Correct. The form in which it should be used in.
Right.
Yeah. The correct setting, what you just said. Yeah, sorry. So now what they're saying is there's a new synthetic drug that is like, hold on, let me see right here. Okay. It's 50 times. Okay, so here we go. What it's called Proton. Dude, I don't even know how to say it. It's proton itazazine. It's a new synthetic opioid that is around 3 times more powerful than fentanyl.
Bro, what the fuck?
3 times more powerful, yeah.
Well, fentanyl already kills motherfuckers.
Yeah, which is already 50 times stronger than heroin and 100 times stronger than morphine, yeah.
And isn't it like this? The tiniest amount of fentanyl will fucking kill you too.
Yeah.
Like I'm like not. I don't know, but like the head of a needle type small or something like stupid.
Right. Yeah. You have cases where officers take a whiff on accident and they.
Oh yeah, or they touch somebody on accident or something. It's on their skin and they absorb it through the skin. They get fucked up.
Yeah. So a new synthetic drug that's 3 times stronger than that, bro.
Well, who the fuck made it?
I don't know. I mean, I
is it like back in the day when was it cocaine, and all that kind of shit? The government's trying to.
I don't think they really don't go in the article. So it's the Center for Forensic Science Research warned that nitazines were gaining traction across the United States and Canada. It binds tighter to receptors in the brain, making it more potent. She said the drug has started to become a concern in just the last few months. They don't really go into any more about it. So it's a new synthetic drug that's hitting the streets, man. And again, that's another thing you see on TikTok, man. You see these people, man, they're like zombies when they're on these drugs.
Really?
I don't know if it's that, because that's probably going to kill you if you take it. I don't know.
I would think.
Yeah.
Or can it be stronger without the fucking you up or without killing you? I don't know.
That's true.
I don't do drugs, but.
Right.
I mean.
It's insane that people create that type of shit, man. To where it's stronger than something that doesn't need to be stronger.
Right. Like, what the fuck? I mean, I know that's how, like, druggies do. They want something. They want the next high.
Right.
Because, heroin's not good enough. Isn't you? I mean, yeah, you get high, but not higher.
Right.
So you just plateau. So they always want the next step.
Yeah.
So what the fuck?
Just the evolution of drugs is crazy. When you talk about the legalization of all drugs, which Jesse's a big fan of.
I talked to somebody today. Same thing. He was all like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, legalize everything."
Prohibition never works. I kind of agree with that statement. But when you're talking about Schedule I drugs like that, like, dude, you legalize drugs like, that's a synthetic drug? I mean, like, you're telling me that people should be able to take that? Like,
right?
I don't know, man.
And after listening to Jesse, I kind of got behind it after he was like, "Yeah, legalize everything." The first time he said that, I'm like, "Dude, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Do you do cocaine now?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Do you do heroin right now?" No. He's like, "Then why the fuck would you do it if it's legal?" I'm like, "Solid point."
That's just you. You're one of 330 million people that live in this country.
Yeah, it's not just me, but
I'm just saying, man. Like, whenever I don't know. It's a weird subject. I'm not even trying to really go down that road if you don't want to. But
oh no, we can go down any road.
I saw that article. I was like, holy shit! I think that's important. That's crazy, and a drug that powerful. I don't know. It's just
synthetically made. I mean, like, again, I hear that and I just think like, not some junkie cooked that shit up in his basement.
Right. It's probably made in a lab somewhere. Yeah.
That's what I hear when I hear that.
And then it gets into the hands of the wrong people type of thing.
Right. And then it gets cut with some weird shit. I don't fucking know. But, I mean, is it if it is made in a lab by
Protonzanese. I don't know. I'll look into it more. Maybe we could talk a little bit more once I know more about it. But that's some fuck shit, man. You see all this rain that's coming through everywhere? Like you saw there's flooding in Kentucky?
No. I mean, we got a shitload of rain, which we needed it, but...
Yeah, Kentucky's flooding, and I guess Nevada and Las Vegas just got downpoured, bro. There's videos out there.
Las Vegas?
Yeah, Las Vegas. And, like, you know how, like, at where we used to work, in some of where the lights are, water would come out when it would rain.
Yeah.
So you're at the Caesar Palace, and you're seeing these light fixtures, rain just coming through them.
Yeah, because it's not a wet area.
Well, I mean... Those buildings still have to be built to code, right? And that includes rain, I would think.
Yeah, but code's different wherever you live. It's more geared towards where you...
I forget which casino it was, but it's a sports betting, like a big screen TV, sports betting. It's kind of like the stock market, the NASDAQ and all that shit. Water's just coming through it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude. Water's just spewing through it because they just got a torrential downpour.
Yeah, there's wet location rated shit, and if you don't, it's a dry fucking area. Why would you think to put something there?
Well, yeah,
it's a dry environment. But like here,
there's always the chance. There's always the chance.
There's always a chance, yeah. But I mean, it's like Las Vegas, you're in a fucking desert, basically.
It's not gonna be a desert forever.
Look at Lake. Well, that's a good. There you go. Let's jump to that. Fucking was it Lake Mead?
Yeah, Lake Mead.
It's as low. It's never been this low since it's been filled.
Yeah.
it's like, where the fuck's all that going?
All that water?
Have you seen the before and after pictures of that shit?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's fucking daunting. When I first saw that, I saw it was probably like a reel or something on Facebook, and I was like, holy fuck. You see the top of it, and there's a little thing, the piers or whatever, and then you see how empty it is, and they're like, however fucking many feet down.
Well, so,
100 feet down or however long.
You're talking about an insane drought over there.
Oh, yeah.
It's an insane, because I go to Hillsdale Lake out here in Kansas, and just within this dry wave that we've had, right? Because we had a lot of rain during the springtime. Last year, plenty of rain, all that shit. We had maybe a month of no rain.
Just now?
Say? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the water dropped significantly, really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And when you look at Lake Mead, and Lake Powell also is starting to dry up as well. Yeah. And there's a dam where they released water into Lake Powell, and its efforts they didn't succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. They poured a shit ton of water in there, and to my knowledge, it really wasn't helpful from what
drop in the bucket, not to be so literal, but...
Yeah.
But where the fuck... like me, they're talking about... The radio's talking about they're thinking about rerouting river water, but that turns into a big whole fucking, zoning issue, basically, Kansas and Arkansas were fighting over Arkansas River, or maybe it was Colorado.
Colorado, yeah.
They were fighting over the Arkansas River, trying to reroute it.
So you have... I think Lake Mead gives water to, I think it's 5 or 6 different states or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I could be wrong. But it makes you wonder, man, how Vegas just got all this water, all this rainwater.
True.
It's much needed. They needed it because I think that they were one of the states that fed off of that water. I don't know how they captured it, or if it, I'm not saying it's conspiracy theory or anything, but they needed the fucking water, man. And I don't know if Lake Mead got any water or not. Maybe it did, because I don't know how close it is. Vegas is to Lake Mead. Lake Mead's Arizona, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I know Lake Powell's Arizona.
Yeah.
Because we've been there.
But it's just it just hurts your brain, It's like that motherfucker's full as fuck.
It is, but don't you agree that Earth goes through cycles, though? Just think about it this way, man. You look at Lake Mead, and let's say that desert area is super, and same with California. Really bad drought. You got all these wildfires.
Yeah.
All this type of things. But, just imagine, let's just even go back 1,000 years ago. I guarantee the landscape was different. I'm sure there was a desert somewhere else. I guarantee you, Utah used to be a beautiful green forest with lots of trees, and then over time, the earth changes, and these different zones become, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you're talking about, you can go down a huge fucking rabbit hole right now.
Yeah.
Depending on your belief of how the earth is.
Yeah, so...
Not to bring this part up, but is it flat? Is it round? Was there a Pangea? Was it one huge fucking continent?
Right.
And then everything split apart. It does awkwardly fit back together if you look at shit like South America fits right into Africa, more or less.
Yeah.
Was there a fucking giant ice bridge that connected? Once everything broke apart, was there a giant fucking ice bridge? That's why
they talk about, yeah.
They talk about that. If that's real, you would have, like kangaroos in, one part of the country, so you'd expect to find carcasses of kangaroos all the way to fucking Australia, but Australia is the only one that has kangaroos.
True. Very true.
So it's like if it all was one, you'd find shit where it shouldn't be.
Yeah, so I don't believe in Pangea at that point.
So that's what I'm saying. It's we were talking, there might have been a desert somewhere else, which is true, but again, it's like your whole that's a giant fucking rabbit hole.
But think about this, you're not
how many ice ages has there been? We're supposed to have cycles of ice ages and shit.
True.
Was the whole fucking country or was the whole world covered in fucking ice? Wasn't that what the ice age was? The whole world, right?
Yeah.
How did things survive?
Yeah. That's if you were to believe that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If so like you were saying, there might have been some deserts over here, but now it's a forest.
So I have a friend that lives in, I don't know if it's Dubai, but close somewhere out there in not Egypt, but not Dubai. Just somewhere out there in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And it's desert. You know what I'm saying? It's just straight desert.
Just straight sand.
And I've watched a lot of his Snapchats lately. And you're just seeing a lot of rain, bro.
Really?
A lot of rain. And what happens when it rains? Shit starts to turn green, bro.
True.
Grass starts to grow, trees start to form. Those seeds are there. They were there before.
My grass is already back to green. It was fucking yellow as shit recently.
That's what I'm saying, bro. If you're in a desert and you start just watering that desert, you'd be amazed. It's like those seeds are embedded into the ground.
True.
And they're there and they're ready to go at any point in time.
Which I thought they did say, if you look at some maps, the Sahara used to actually be green.
Yeah.
If I remember that correctly, you know.
And it's the Sahara slowly, it's spreading like a wildfire, which it's not a fire, but it's all of it's becoming desert.
Is it really?
Oh yeah. There was a massive effort to plant tree lines across the whole Sahara Desert to stop it from spreading into these other towns.
But I don't think just plant trees is going to save that. You need to take care of the trees. You got to water them.
Yeah. There's a documentary about it, and they don't know what to do, man. So they're literally just trying anything and everything that they can do to stop the desert from taking over the whole continent. And so that was one of their ideas, and there's a way to explain it. I wouldn't be able to. I'd have to send you the documentary. But
right.
They actually literally tried to plant a tree line across the whole, and scientifically it made sense, and I don't know if it worked or not, but
then that just goes back to the conspiracy theory that if you can control the weather, why not fix issues like that? But I guess, I mean,
could be war.
I was like, right as it came out of my mouth, I was like, well, then you're fixing world problems at that point. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
People do, but not the right people.
Right.
You know,
they want us concentrated in small areas. The way they can control you, shut you down whenever you want. So, where are we at? How many minutes?
I don't know. I'm not keeping track. I was just texting my wife back. But that's just like a big can of worms. Like I said, it depends what you believe in, you know?
Yeah. Dan said he'll come on. I don't know how much time we have. About 15 minutes. It's up to you.
15 minutes left?
Yeah. Yeah, Dan said he's down to come on if you want.
You know I got to work in the morning.
Oh, yeah. So I'll hit him up. I might do like a podcast that way I have an extra one later.
Or you can cut this one short and get you and Dan can hit some shit up.
For sure. That's probably what I'll do.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't know. That's another topic. Just not, like I said, just the whole everything. Like the Pangea shit. Like, you know, that'd be a whole rabbit hole to go down.
Do you know if you look at Florida backwards, you see the Grinch?
Really?
Yeah. So, like, okay, so if you're aerial in the view, right?
Okay.
And you see the boot heel?
Yeah.
If you look at that image backwards from that image, it looks like the Grinch.
Like that.
I'll show you when we're outside.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's also this weird $5 bill. There's an alien in the $5 bill. I'm going to show you. Do you have a $5 bill on you?
No.
I'll
get some 20s.
I'll go get one upstairs before we do that, before we get off, though. Dude, yeah, man, I mean, it's weird. So my belief, and I know a lot of people aren't going to like this, I don't ever really bring it up with Johnny and Jesse because we've had plenty of arguments about the flat earth and shit like that.
Yeah.
And that movement's massive.
I thought it a fascinating topic. Yeah. You know, you have your beliefs, obviously,
sure.
But not you, but just like people in general. So,
yeah.
But, you know, but Johnny's always said you got to have the conversation there.
Yeah.
You know,
we can't, and they don't really even want to hear it, which is fine, and maybe we'll bring it up one day. I mean, I would still love to have Eric Dubé on the show. It would be fascinating. It'd be amazing. But so and this was even before TikTok. I've always, you know, I believe this for like the past 6 years.
Oh yeah.
But so what I believe, and we can end on this after you give your thoughts on it, is there's legitimately an ice wall.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, but there's an ice wall, and so my thing is, no one's going to go down to Antarctica and sail the entirety of the Earth.
Technically, it's not down.
Well, it's all around. Yeah, sorry, you know what I'm saying.
I know.
All around, because there is no down, there is no up. You're right. It's all just a flat. And I'm not even subscribing to flat Earth. I don't know what it is we live on. But
right.
From what I can gather and all the evidence that I've watched, what I'm saying is it does look like there's a barrier. If you were to travel south in any direction, you're going to find an ice wall.
Right.
Right? So and maybe it's because I want to believe this, but it's very fascinating. Eddie Bravo came out with it on the Joe Rogan podcast, and it's even crazier is that there's more land beyond the ice wall.
Really?
Yeah. So this
like greenery type
yeah.
or
so basically you have, you know, we have our 7 continents, right?
Yeah, I've seen the model.
So
I know.
I got that map over there in the far right corner.
Okay, I can barely see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's an ice wall around that, right?
Yes.
And over that ice wall, there's more water and there's more continents.
Really?
And then there's another ice wall, and then there's more continents.
It's like its own another world, basically.
It's like a multiverse, or yeah, so whatever you want to call it. And so I guess there's a good theory, right, that maybe we could contact them. We can get over that ice wall, but obviously you have the Antarctica Treaty, where you have like over 60 to 70 countries that are signed up on the Antarctica Treaty. You're not allowed to go there unless it's a planned flight.
Really?
or a planned cruise, yeah, you'll get arrested if you go there by yourself. It has to be approved through
A lot of red tape, basically.
100% a lot of red tape. There are TV shows where people are traveling across Antarctica, and it's a TV show. You know what I'm saying?
It's staged.
Get a fucking plane, a drone, a high fucking $2 million drone, put that shit in Antarctica, start flying that bitch, and live stream it.
Let's see. Why
has that never been done? Why has that never been done?
That's always why. I feel like it's a lot of people's answer is like, well, if that is to be believed, why is it not a shown thing?
Right.
You know, like,
but we can take a picture 14 billion light years away from the James Webb Telescope, and they just saw the beginning stages of the universe. But yet you can't put a drone down on down in Antarctica, and you can't, or even just a drone in general, and have it circumnavigate the Earth from north to south.
But that's
and
where
live stream it.
Yeah, but that's where you get down to again. I keep saying the word rabbit hole, but and I know we've talked about this privately before. Is like, you know, if we have gone to space and there was people in space, they've observed the Earth as round, and as a round model shows it. You know, as far as where things are located, in, you know, your poles and whatnot, Antarctica, you know, whatever. So, I mean, you could say that's proven already, in a sense. Because I feel like I've asked you before, is like, I mean, you believe in other planets.
No, I mean, so with the telescopes that we have, and you have people that are on YouTube, all these other things, they have very high-powered telescopes.
Right.
They are luminaries. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can I could put a filter on my P900 or my P1000. I could look at the sun. You can see the sunspots, all that shit. Yeah. The videos that I've seen, there's a guy who used to be the old Marine. The sun did rotate, I believe, in the videos that he would play. So you actually do see rotation from the sun. The moon, there's no rotation. It's in a fixed orbit, right?
Okay.
How convenient, in my opinion.
Right.
This allows for this type of stuff to exist.
Right.
Because if the moon was spinning like most other moons, I think our moon it's an anomaly, or it's very rare that moons don't spin. I don't know if you knew that or not. But it's
that they don't spin?
Correct. It's very rare that a moon doesn't spin in orbit. But our moon is stationary.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Now I'm following you. I was thinking the other way around.
But when it comes to other planets, and you can get on YouTube again, I know it's YouTube. It's not a fucking like high-powered telescope that the government has at its disposal, which I'd love to go. I'd love to do a fucking... Okay, someone put a video out there, and I don't know how true this is. They said if you wanted to see the flag on the moon, you would need a telescope that's fucking just we couldn't even build it to see that, which I don't believe that statement.
I wouldn't either.
You know what I'm saying? There has to be a telescope on Earth that you could see it. And that's another thing. Why wouldn't you put a camera on that telescope and just do a live feed of all the shit we've done on the moon?
Right. Like, why? Like, I don't. Yeah. I'll back you on that one.
Yeah.
Because you can take these deep space photos, but you can't.
Well, and those are all.
You can't look at the fucking moon.
Those are all composites. You know, those are built by. All those pictures are numbers and zeros and ones, and they put it together, and that's how they form that picture.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's not like an actual camera. It's not like that fucking camera right there.
I mean, it might be, but how are they going to send that picture back? You know what I'm saying?
I guess that's...
However deep in space the James Webb Telescope was, it had to send that picture all the way back to the world. You know, you're not getting that in raw photo image. But yeah, so whenever you zoom in on like Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, you can see Jupiter pretty well. You can see its moons, right? Does it make them planets? Does it make them rocks? Does it, you know what I'm saying? What is it? They could just be luminaries, bro. I don't know. Maybe they really are planets.
Right, you don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that Jupiter's this big, giant gas ball that we could actually travel to if we had the technology and then we put on these spacesuits and we went down in the atmosphere. I know you can't touch it because it's like liquid nitrogen or whatever the fuck
Supposedly,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's real. And maybe it is. I don't know, man.
Right. Well,
and what would it even matter? Why we're nowhere even close to even going there. To me, it makes more sense that they shut down Antarctica. They don't allow you to travel there. You had Admiral Byrd, who was one of the first guys to go to Antarctica and describe what it was and how big it was and how resourceful it was. You have the UN maps that literally look like that map. It's not a world. It's not like a globe map. It's
right.
United
it's a flat.
Nations. Yeah. There's a lot of these things that are in front of your face. I don't know. I'm doing a shitty job of explaining it, man. To me, I think that there's more land out there that we don't know about. There's another civilization on other lands that we could talk to and benefit from.
Yeah.
But that's not allowed. Or maybe they created us and they're fucking watching and laughing. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot to unpack. I know we're getting there, but like, you said the one guy observed the sun and it looked like rotation. So, I mean,
yeah.
But he was a flat earther?
No, this was when I first started watching YouTube, and I don't know if anyone remembers him, but he was called the Old Marine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was just this old biker dude who would try and enlighten you, and then he would just video record the sun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, so if you believed that, I don't know if you do or still do or don't, but I mean, why is it that's observable as around?
You can.
That's a star, but
Carrying just so you're fine. You're fine. You can just be as loud as you want. You're good.
And as far as the map, you can't. I mean, can you put a 3D object on a flat piece of paper? You can, but you can't see the whole thing.
Your logo could be the world. Those pictures exist. The logo could be a globe world.
Yeah, but you're not going to have the whole thing.
Yeah, it's deeper.
Allegedly,
than that. For as long as I've known this, I've consumed so much information, but I can't spew it out all at once. But we'll save it for another time.
It'd make for a super good podcast, though.
No, I know it would. I need to know my shit, though.
You'd have a lot of good clips for TikTok and shit. I think it would. I mean, I know it'd be. You might have to get a guess because it'd be like 3 against 1, or 2.5 against 1.
That's how it would have to be, because their conversation is what would interest people.
Yeah.
They'll call them globetards or whatever.
Oh, dude, it'd be a fucking awesome podcast. Yeah. You did a lot just because that's what creates good content. Is just the debate aspect,
right? And dude, there's a small drop in the bucket, man. There's a lot of CIA documents that have been unclassified that people show this shit. Again, I don't know how true it is. I'd have to go find it on my own. But allegedly, there are unclassified documents where even the military, how they use their military exercises when they shoot weapons out in the ocean, it's all based on a flat Earth model. There's allegedly CIA documents that suggest and prove it.
Right. I mean, but that's a shitty thing. It's like you could find, it's any argument, but you could find truths against both for both.
If I went to
lies against both.
If I went to a government website right now and it was CIA, unclassified Freedom of Information Act type of shit,
yeah,
and you actually found that, and they said that on a government website, I mean, that's true. I mean, what more evidence would you need at that point?
I guess, yeah. But again, there's just so many like little avenues you could sneak in and be like, well, that's the government lying to you. Then now the people that are, people believe in a round Earth model are being like, well, that's the government. Why would you believe them?
True.
You know what I mean? So
because the government they like to flaunt it right in front of your face.
Right. But it's just, it can go both ways.
But that's the saying is like, why would they lie to you about it? Well, they're not, because it's on paper and they're not lying. So they're not even lying about it.
Right.
It's right there for you to see and to find if you want.
Right. And like you said, like the UN, I've seen it before too. It's flat, just like your map over there.
Yeah.
Like you said.
And that was the standard map for a long time.
And they put shit in I thought of you the other day, not a flat Earth, but of something else. But it was just right in your fucking face.
Yeah.
It was the Anunnaki, but
right, yeah.
But I'll tell you about it later outside. I'd go on and on, but yeah, it's like this is boom, here it is, right in front of your fucking face.
Yeah. We'll leave it there, man. It's been a pleasure, Carl.
We kind of just jumped around a little bit.
This is fine, dude. That's how I anticipated tonight to go.
Yeah.
No matter who was on the show. Like I don't know. We weren't too dismal. It was just some lighthearted stuff. It was fun, interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So
little opinions here and there.
Yeah. I'm gonna post it and we'll see what happens.
And we'll just fucking roll the fucking dice.
Yeah. Like at a crapshoot table.
Yeah, we're gonna blow on the die and then just send it down the table.
Yeah, and then we'll blow some ivermectin and we'll be fine.
Yeah, fuck you. No, I'm getting that shit, that fentanyl shit.
No, I want to snort
3 times.
We'll snort some ivermectin, bro. Who knows what'll happen? We'll never get COVID again.
Love that.
Hey, the best thing you guys can do for Talk Junkies is share, like this fucking podcast. Check us out on TikTok, iTunes, Spotify, Podomatic, all the places out there. Share this to your friends and family, to all our junkies out there.
Stay fly and ring the bell.